At Kleine Zalze, we've got records of making wine back to 1695. So there is obviously a long history and pedigree of making wine here. The story that we're concerned with starts in 1996 when Cobus Besson, the current owner of Kleine Zalze, initially purchased the property and decided to redevelop it from a vineyard point of view, as well as to redevelop and modernize the winery and start a new Kleine Zalze, for lack of better words. Now, on the top of the hill of our vineyards are these beautiful, deep, relatively clay-rich soils, but with enough gravel. It's a little iron sort of stone. We refer to it as coffee clip, that run through the profile that gives good drainage, but you get a freshness and an elegance to the wines. And they work particularly well with Cabernet Sauvignon. So it's probably about 65% will be Cabernet Sauvignon. Various clones and various rootstocks matched to specific sites. So Cabernet is a big strength for us, but then some of the sites lower down, there's some really good Shiraz sites. There are small pockets of things like Cabernet Franc and Merlot, but those are more as complements to the Cabernet. As a winery, we are really trying to focus on getting the best out of our terroir and finding balance. And that balance is also trying to look at an elegance. And really, over the last 7 years that I've been here, RJ, who's the head winemaker, and myself have really been working very hard on how to add an element of freshness and a balance into the wines. The winemaking is relatively naked. It is very basic winemaking. It's growing really good fruit and then treating it with respect in the winery and letting the wine do the talking rather than the winemaking do the talking. And that in itself is quite a challenge. There's quite a bit of winemaking involved in that.
With Chardonnay, we've broadened our horizons a bit and we go look for certain other sites. We struggle to find the lighter mineral side of Chardonnays in Stellenbosch. We can find them much easier on the other side of the mountain, closer to Robertson, where they've got that limestone soils. We use some of our parcels here as the bigger yellow stone fruit components into our Chardonnay. We pick quite ripe. We come into the cellar, a big portion of it gets a little bit of skin contact as with Chenin, but there's a bigger portion that gets whole bunch treated. And then we settle as well, just a 24-hour settle cycle, and then rack directly into barrel. We use much more newer oak, so about 60 to 70% is new oak. Also bigger format barrels. Try and keep it as natural as possible, try not to intervene. We try and let the wine do the talking. And then we'll put the components together. We try not to filter the wines. Usually when these wines come out of barrel, they are pretty stable. The only thing that we might do is we'll put it through a little coarse filtration on the way to the bottling line. And this is all just to protect the wine. Every action that you have that you do on a wine has an influence on your taste profile. And we want to try and protect that, protect the sites and the flavors that we get from there. The wine speaks for itself. I think it's got a lovely structure, and with that finesse and mineral edge that we get from our Robertson fruit. Yeah, stunning wine.